Hello, fellow competitors and judges. My name is Darshil. So, one of the most common questions people get asked often is whether they see a glass of half full or half empty. I've always personally believed seeing the glass as half full is always a better way to view life. I think optimism is one of the greatest ideologies you can bring into your life, and it generally makes your life more exciting and more vibrant. I think two of the biggest reasons to be optimistic in life is that it can relieve your anxiety, one of the biggest problems in today's world. And it kind of, to me, it answers the question of what the point of life is. The way optimism can relieve anxiety is that when you're anxious, you're constantly thinking about the future. You're constantly worried about whether this goes wrong, whether this goes wrong. I'm sure all of us competitors here today can acknowledge that feeling, right? We just came up on the stage, we're newcomers to speech, and we feel anxious, of course, because it's our first time. Even I'm feeling anxious just right now. But I think having an optimistic mindset and being focused on the goals that you're going to achieve is much more fun, right? Like, even though you're anxious, you might as well just do the task. After you're done the tasks, you'll be very happy with it. You're going to be proud of what you've accomplished. And I think, yeah, like I said, it brings some vibrancy to your life. To be happy about what you're going to do rather than constantly nervous. It just makes life more fun. The second reason I would say is that, to me, it answers what the point of life is. Ever since I was a kid, I always ask myself what the point of life is. It's like that age-old question that maybe like 9-year-olds ask themselves. What's the point of all this, right? I always answered that it's to have fun, because what else is the point, right? One day we're all going to be gone, and that may be sad, but to me it's not, because we only have one chance. Might as well make the best of it. So my answer to that question is to have fun. I think optimism is an incredible way to go about this ideology of having fun in your life. No matter what you have to do, whether it's a bunch of tests, getting to uni, or going to med school even. I think going through new experiences with an open mind gets you to constantly learn and interact with all sorts of people from around. A common example I think of this is that Michael Phelps. He was a 3x Olympian winner, and he still had depression, and I think he was maybe even suicidal. And I think a lot of people ask that question of, why did this happen, right? This guy, he's on top of the world essentially. He's number one in everything. He has all these achievements, but he's depressed. How does that come to happen? I've always found that it makes sense to me, because even after all these achievements, if you constantly worry, if you're constantly anxious, like my first point, if you're constantly anxious about staying number one and staying on top of the world, then you'll never be satisfied with what you've accomplished. To look back and be proud of what you've accomplished is one of the biggest, I think, things that people can miss out on at the end of their life. To live life with regret. You make the best decisions you can in the moment. And when hindsight's always 20/20. So future you's always going to think past you made some sort of mistake. I don't think that's the case. I think past you did the best they could possibly have done. Your achievements do not necessarily define you. And I think looking toward the future as I'm going to just do the best that I can do. I'm going to go out there and have fun, because that's all I can do. I can't control whether or not I'm going to win this competition. I can't control whether or not I'm going to do good on the stage. But what I can control is doing my absolute best and just having fun up here on the stage talking to all of you. That's why I believe that optimism answers that question of what the point of life is. Overall, I'd say that optimism is one of the best ways to live your life. It's not just something that people just say just to be like, it's just that cliche of, glass half full is always better than glass half empty. It's not just a cliche. I think optimism can really change someone's viewpoint on life, especially in modern society, where we have more mental issues instead of physical issues, where society has advanced. Optimism is one of the greatest known cures that most people never find for themselves. And that is my answer to the question. Thank you.